Welcome back to another episode of MangoStrike episode 2 with Caroline Spinola, aka CarolineSmash on TikTok. What's up,
Hello.
Caroline?
Hello. Not too much. What's up with you?
Nothing much. Glad to have you on. You recently got 100K followers on TikTok.
I I
Congratulations.
did. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm kind of still surprised that many people are like, yeah, I'd watch this again.
So do you consider yourself like TikTok famous now?
No, I don't. I
Like
mean,
that?
well, it's hard. Okay, I guess it's hard to say because like what is famous? 100,000 people is a lot of people to perform to, right? Or
Mhm.
like I don't know, maybe some of my I've discussed this with friends, and maybe it's like known in some circles, you know. Like I feel like people who have like millions of followers, they're like TikTok famous, but it's like TikTok sort of aware. I don't know.
So you're also like a voice actor on Pokemon.
Yes.
Um, that that show was probably watched by maybe like millions of kids, right?
Yeah,
So,
yes. Yeah, it was awesome. I was on Sun and Moon
mhm.
as Ida and then two random little boys. But yeah, that was crazy. That was amazing.
How did you land that? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, so I auditioned for it.
Mhm.
And it wasn't, people ask me all the time, like, oh, is it on casting websites? Did you get it
Mhm.
through your agent? It was a non-union job, and I got it because a casting director suggested me to the casting director. And I had actually auditioned for several of the roles on that show before I was cast as Ida. And the day that she brought me in, I thought it was just going to be another audition, but I walked in and she was like, "All right, here's the tax information. Here's the NDA. We're so happy to have you. Welcome aboard." And I was like, I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God." It's like having a panic attack in
Nice.
the booth. She's like, "All right, so for this one, but she was a fantastic director, Lisa Ortiz. She was amazing. She's a
Mhm.
fantastic voiceover actor." Um, but yeah, it was pretty surreal. I was surprised.
Did you watch a lot of Pokemon before that, or
Growing up, I
never?
did. So I what was I? I was maybe I remember being in like first grade or like second grade. I'm 28. So I remember like first gen coming out. I was all about that. That was like I had the trading cards. I didn't know how to play the game, but my friends and I would like play pretend. I'd like run around recess pretending I was a Butterfree, and yeah. So I watched it, but I have to say, like, I didn't continue to watch it for as long. Like I think I watched a bit into the second generation, and then catch some of the movies here or there. But and I played
Mhm.
some of the games. But yeah. So I mean, yes, but like not thorough and complete. You know.
Mhm. Did
Yeah.
you did you like end up like getting back into it after you got the role or not?
Well, I mean, like I watch so a little. So like I have friends now from Pokemon, so like I watched all of their episodes. I
Mhm.
haven't necessarily I didn't watch the entirety of it. Um but a
Mhm.
little bit definitely sparked a bit back. And I had a friend just like send me Pokemon Sun and Moon for DS. So I was like, "Oh, awesome." Played a little bit of that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Which Pokemon generation is your favorite?
It's gonna be such a cop out answer, but just the first, just because it's so sentimental. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely first. I'm sure I sound like a boomer when I say that. Are you guys big Pokemon fans? Are you guys?
Definitely. I mean, both of us were 25, so we both grew up with first generation up until now. So, uh, definitely, as a kid growing up, I was kind of like you. I had the cards. I had to go to Burger King to get those
Yep.
gold plaque cards. I had like the small collectible Pokemon that you got from like Target or something. And oof, I think my favorite has to be Gen 3,
Okay.
just because
Is
the
is there
starters
is
are
I was
probably
gonna
my
say, is
favorite.
there a specific Pokemon in there that's just your favorite?
Uh, which Now I'm trying to remember what Gen 3 had.
Wait, is that Ruby and Sapphire?
Yes, it is.
So it was Swampert.
Yeah, it was a Mudkip then.
Oh, Mudkip was cute.
Yeah.
I liked Blaziken just because they had like a really cool episode at the end of Johto, I think, where it was Charizard versus Blaziken, and that was like one of the best Pokemon episodes growing up. You did a ASMR commercial for Michelob. What was that?
I did. Well, when I first got that job, I was dreadfully misinformed. I thought that I was going to be doing I'm such an idiot. I thought I was going to be doing like a live commercial during the Super Bowl. So my poor parents oh my God, Caroline's going to have a commercial during the Super Bowl. And so they told all their friends. This was in a day, because the voiceover jobs, it's fast when they cast you. It's the next day you record. And so they told all their friends, and because I was recording it live during the Super Bowl. But when I got there, not only was it the only job where I've had another talent who's completely lovely. I know her now. She's awesome. But she was cast for the same job. We were there for the same job, and I was basically brought in to give her a break every now and again. But it was for Michelob Ultra. They did a Twitter campaign, and it was if you used a specific hashtag, we would make a commercial, or they would make a commercial for you really quickly, and that featured ASMR from myself and this girl Sam. So yeah, I got to do some whispering for beer, and that was that was pretty cool. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, definitely not what I expected. I was oh, all of my friends and family were what happened to your commercial, man? I thought you were gonna be on. We waited, we didn't hear you. Or people, there was also, because part of that campaign had was it Zoe Kravitz? That was part of that same campaign. And she whispered in the commercial. So a bunch of people was that was you whispering in the commercial, was it? I knew it. People think, my friends and family think that they hear me all the time, and it's not me.
That must be
ooh, so close, not quite. Yeah.
That must get awkward.
So at this point, it's more just funny than anything. It's just kind of but it was, so I did that. I've done a Triscuit campaign, a national Triscuit campaign. That was cool. So Triscuit, go toppingless. Kind of speaks for itself. That was fun. Triscuit people are cool. Yeah, I've done a bunch of small regional commercials that sometimes I never even hear what happens to them. I just get hired for them, and it's somewhere in Minnesota. Caroline babbling about bathtubs. All right. Cool.
What's your favorite job you ever done?
Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon is just, I'm anime. I can die. I'm anime now. If I die, it doesn't matter because I'm anime.
The dream has been fulfilled.
It has. If I die at any point, it's well, I did it. So, all right. But yeah, that was definitely that. There have been other jobs that I've really enjoyed, but that by and large,
combined
with the panic attack and the glory, is just pretty fulfilling.
Do you watch a lot of anime?
Yeah. I used to be a lot more into it when I was in middle school and high school. I've tried. Again, I feel like such a boomer. I'll be no, new shows. I don't know if I don't like change, But I've tried. I've there have been a few newer ones that are good, but yeah, I probably started in most kids my age on Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha, Dragon Ball, then went for some classics like Death Note, watched some of those the older ones like Akira, any of the Satoshi Kun. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his Paprika, or was it Little Slugger? There's a lot of some good stuff. It's dark. Satoshi Kon makes really dark stuff. Perfect Blue, very psychologically spooky. But yeah, I dabble in the anime. Yeah.
So are there any anime characters that you would love to voice if you got the chance?
It's hard to say because like the ones from my childhood, I'm like, well, they're perfect. Like they don't need me. They're perfect. Like what could I possibly do? Oof. Yeah, it's hard for me. I mean,
another way to ask the question is, if they were to remake anything that you watched as a child, what would be your like number one to do?
Well, I think they're already remaking it, right? Inuyasha would be like, if I could just be Shippo, that would be amazing. But I don't know. I think it deals with like their kids, right? If I could be like child of Shippo, that would be pretty sweet. But I don't even know
they were remaking that.
I think so. I've heard whispers on the wind that they are, and everyone's like, find out how to do this. And I'm like, I don't know who's making it. I'm like, I'm in a small room. Who's making it? Somebody. It could be like, I don't know. I don't know what studio would do that. Of course, I'll be like, oh, maybe it's Funimation, but I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
They seem to get a majority of the anime, at least a decent amount of it.
Gotta get in with that. I need to contact them. I need to get in there. People are always like, do you do more dubbing? And I'm like, I wish, but it's just me. I need to do what the folks call direct marketing, where you contact directly, like you did. You contacted me directly, and you're just like, hey, a job for me? Hey, maybe me a job. How about this? And then, but professional. Sorry, I am blathering. Go on.
I mean, if you get you're already at like 100K TikTok followers, eventually you're gonna have enough clout that they're gonna be like, hey, might as well take this person.
Oh man, all this clout really weighing me down. You could really offer me a job, bro. All this clout. My back is breaking, dude. I hope
so. Speaking of your TikTok, I saw that one of your videos you did, you announced that you were doing a D&D campaign with Offbeat Outlaw.
Yes,
how's that going?
Yes, I am. Oh, it's awesome. I'm so scared. Like D&D TikTok has been so good to me. They've like embraced me, and I'm like, do I belong here? And they're like, yes, you're here. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's been great. Offbeat Outlaw has, we're doing a campaign Mondays indefinitely, also for shameless plug. Offbeat Outlaw on Twitch. It's every Monday at 8 p.m. EST. Someone was like, it's EDT, and I'm like, man, in my heart, it's still EST. But yeah, every Monday, if you ever want to come watch, there are some really cool people on it from TikTok. Again, all these like big TikTokers. I realized I like went through. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm the smallest account on this. That's pretty sweet. I was like, I have the most to gain. But yeah, Law's Claws, Marcus Territory, Ballad Boy, and then of course Offbeat and Mash Spudson. They're all on that, and they're funny, man. Like I'm like, damn, you guys are funny, dude. I don't know if I belong here, but it's been good.
Is Offbeat as eccentric as he is in his TikToks?
Oh yeah, it's very entertaining. I have to say, like in himself, and then the people that he chose. Everyone was just like on it, and I was like, oh, I'm like, wow, it's like doing a show, amazing. And I'm just there playing this derpy little like gnome bard. I'm like barely helping. It's great, it's wonderful. But yeah, he's very animated. I love it. It's great.
So is the impressions and the voices something that you practiced growing up, or was that something you just always had?
Because I would just do them incessantly, like all the time. I would mimic all of my friends and family, like just my sister to an obnoxious degree. Be like, oh my god, can you shut up? Can you like seriously shut up? And I'd be like, no, I can't. And I mean, you can definitely work on things like getting training. So I went to school for theater and musical theater at USC, and I took dialects, and I've been in I had like 13 plus years of improv experience, which I think really helped. But yeah, like studying dialects seriously, learning IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, not the hoppy beer, not the extremely perfumey beer. That was really helpful. But I would say, like, I guess I had a natural like knack for it, and then I just leaned in, man. Just get in there, annoy all your friends and family.
Do you have any advice for people that might be looking to go into voice acting?
Yeah, the first thing I would just say is you need acting classes or specific voiceover coaching. But like acting, I think acting, improv, and then voiceover specific classes, you need them. Like I see people all the time that are like, my friends tell me I have a cool voice. Can I do voiceover? And it's like, I mean, you know, how good are you at acting? Because you don't have anything to hide behind. It's just you. So I would say that first and foremost. And then secondly, it's extremely competitive, especially now with the pandemic, more just perhaps on camera or stage actors or just other, you know, other people are just turning to it and they're like, oh, I can get a microphone, which yes, you absolutely need your own equipment. You can absolutely do this from home. You need some basic audio editing knowledge. It doesn't come quickly. Like, you know, I started auditioning in 2014. And I didn't get on Pokemon until 2017. Even then, I still think that was kind of shocking that it happened that early. I've heard a lot of professionals say, you know, they were just auditioning away for a solid like 10 years before they get the gigs they want, or, you know, even recurrent gigs. I'm part-time. I'm not even full-time in voiceover, which I would love to be. But I also just have, it's nice. I have a part-time job, which is good because I can like get out of the house and I don't have to be in my closet all day, which I think is a benefit. You know, it's definitely an arduous road. It's not easy, and it takes skill, takes practice.
Was voice acting always like from home, or is that just because of the pandemic that you had
that
to
was
like
mostly the pandemic, and in recent years, like I would say probably, I mean, I've had my home set up since 2016, and I would say I was a little late. Like I wish back when I lived in LA that I had my own studio. I don't know, maybe like, so I guess I can only speak to that, but I've heard of people saying like, yeah, I've been working from home for 5 years. But like, you know, those bigger jobs, I would go into Manhattan to record. They want, you know, they don't want you to be the audio engineer, but now it's very doable and everyone's doing it. Like it's been pretty well adjusted, but no, before you would, well, okay. So there are some auditions you would do in person. Frequently though, it would be record the first round of auditions from home. If they like you, either they just hire you from that and then they bring you, you know, to the recording studio, or they might say, okay, come in for a live audition because they want to direct you. That's the whole thing too. Another tip is you have to be able to be directed and take directions and adjust, you know, on the fly. But yeah, so not necessarily from home before, although in some ways, I don't think I answered that very well. I'm like, yeah,
that makes sense. I see on your Instagram you do a lot of drawings and stuff like that. Is that another?
I like to doodle. Oh yeah, I like to doodle and stuff. Yeah, I just draw. I just draw. I'm not like professional. I have been commissioned. People have paid me for my art before, but it's not like a main thing. That's kind of one of my hobbies that I've kept just to be like for myself for a while. I was like, oh, maybe I want to go into sequential art and I want to be a comic book writer. But then I was like, man, they're going to try to tell me how to draw a circle. Screw that. I was like, I'm just going to draw for me. So like I didn't take art in high school, but I would go to a college to take Saturday classes in comic book art. And I took some random art classes in college, but that's largely like, it's for me. And like, and I'm also really bad at deadlines for art. Like, it's like, I'm only making art if I feel like it, you know, like you can't force it. Except for my family's holiday card, which I've drawn for the last 15 years, that I have to force, even if I'm not feeling it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see all that art on your Instagram, because on your TikTok, I saw it's mostly just voice acting, and then I went on your Instagram. I'm like, "There's no voice acting. Is this the same person?"
No, like multifaceted here, man. Like, you know, like a Rubik's cube or something, dude. Well, and also, so October on Instagram is Ink October. So you're supposed to draw every day. It's like, wow, we're really gonna draw during spooky season. And I like doing that. At least I try. I try to most every year because I'll get into moods where like I'm too sad and I can't draw. So like it's good when October comes around because then it's like, all right, we have a reason. We have an excuse. But yeah, I don't really put a lot of my voiceover stuff on my TikTok. I kind of figure like, I don't know. I'll put stuff in my story every now and again if I think something's like funny, but it's just like, TikTok's for voiceover.
What's been your favorite thing to draw so far?
My favorite thing to draw. I did some portraits. I did a really good one of my friend Connor, which I was like, whoa, I did that? Like, tight. That was cool. But it's kind of hard, especially drawing your friends. But more often than not, I draw my friends super ugly. Like, they just look really ugly, and I don't mean for it, but it just comes out wrong. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've done you a big disrespect. But I don't know, like drawing Pokemon is fun. I also I'll default if I'm not thinking, I'll just draw an elf. Like I like elves. Okay. I'll just be like, yes, glory to the Sindorai. Like, yes. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. There are many things I like. But I guess like default to faces. Go for faces.
So one thing I saw you do on TikTok, you do these live streams where you read a book in like different voices and stuff. How did you come up with that idea?
Oh, well, because a bunch of people were like, do you do audiobooks? And I was like, no. And they're like, you should. I was like, I would listen to you. See, I have to assume what these people's voices sound like in my live chat because I'm the only one talking. So, they're all like, no, but a bunch of people, and I've recorded an audiobook. It just wasn't released. And then another one I did, which was really more like an interactive website, but they filed it under audiobook to teach children English. I did that, but I was like, I should be doing audiobooks. And then I tried to make a reel earlier this year and I was like, wow, I'm really not good at this. So I was like, I should probably practice. So that's why we read Snow Crash. We've been reading a very lovely cyberpunk dystopian novel by Neil Stephenson called Snow Crash. Recently I've been very lax with it just because I don't know if I talk a lot and I've been trying to not overdo myself. I get so excited. It's definitely different now to have a lot more people reaching out to me than ever. And it's hard to control myself and be like, Caroline, you can't talk this much. You need to rest. So it was Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. That's when it would happen if I pop up. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time if I pop up to read that. But that's how that happened. And I have a solid 20 people who are actually into it and hang out with me while I read it. Other people usually just pop in and out, which I get because especially at this point, we're in the middle of the book. So if you just tune in, you're like,
what's going on?
In the middle of the book. It's who's that character?
Are they wait, what? Yeah, exactly. They're just so why is Christopher Walken saying these things? Oh, Snow Crash, a very terrible virus, suddenly coded out of existence. And they're like, what's going on here? I'm like, I can explain, please.
So what are your goals? Are there any roles that you hope you get in the future and stuff like that?
It's just gonna be same thing as always, Pinky. Try to take over the world. No, I would really love. I have been having a lot of Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney auditions this year, and I would just really love to land one of those jobs. That would be that's a sort of nebulous, but also sort of specific goal. Coming up next, I would really like that. Aside from making an audiobook reel and becoming the voice of a generation, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, it would just be a bigger job like that. A series would really be wonderful. I'm on a children's series that's on YouTube. with another very famous TikToker, Lucas Arnold. We're on that together, and we're gonna start. We like stopped before the pandemic, and I think we're feeling it out, but I think we're all gonna record from home and pick it back up. It's a cute little children's show called Saving Soup. But yeah, I would just say, like, more job, give me job, more job, please, job. just more.
I mean, yeah, you definitely are going to get some roles. That seems like the logical next step from where you're at. And with,
I have so much hope. I have so much hope. But yeah, and like the commercial gigs, because on average, commercial gigs just pay better. They do. But you do like commercial jobs are great for like living, and then cartoon jobs are great for like fun, which is ideal. So hopefully I would get a mix of both. Yes. Job. Have you ever had a more articulate guest? You can say yes because there's only been one other person. You can easily answer this question.
We'll circle back when we have like 10 guests, and we'll do a sample size.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like that. That's great.
No, you've been great so far. Super entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
Are you usually just like so energized? Or yeah.
Yeah. People will ask me that all the time on like my TikTok lives. They're like, "How do you get this energy? Are you on crack?" And I'm like, no, I'm not. I mean, this is just such a little derpy way, but I just love to perform. So
do you have any like voice acting role models that you look up to that like you're like?
Definitely. I mean, some of the teachers that I've had, like Dino Andrade, he has been he's done so much. He has been in much anime. He has been in the much commercial, and he's also, for me, I have been in my life a pretty big World of Warcraft nerd. He was a bunch of people in World of Warcraft, so I got to be mentored by him. And like that was just awesome. I was like, "Oh, dude, you're so cool!" And he's so spiffy too. Like he would come into all of our like classes, and he'd have like a vest on and like a pocket watch. I was like, "You precious man!" It's like it's him. So definitely Dino, but they're also like Grey Delisle. I mean, of course, like Tara Strong. She's amazing. Billy West. It would be he's a legend. He's so good. And then even beyond that, like Mary Kay Bergman, she did all of the female voices on South Park before she tragically took her own life, I think around season 9. But she was extremely talented. She did a lot of voiceover, especially when we were like really little. But yeah, definitely a lot of people out there to look up to. Yeah.
So what made you like first start TikTok?
TikTok. I remember the first days of TikTok. I really didn't want to start a TikTok. I was like, I'm too old. This is dumb. I don't get it. Like I was like, I was really dragging my feet on it. I'm no longer with this management company, but at the time I was with a management company that like sent an email to all of their talent, was like, "We heavily encourage you to make a TikTok and show off your voiceover talent." And I was like, I don't like being told what to do. It's like, this is dumb. But eventually it's like one of my Pokemon castmates was like, "You should do this. People are doing this. You should do this." And I was like, fine. So at first I was like, and I never thought I would have this many followers. Are you kidding me? At first, I was just trying to make my best friend Christina laugh. Like that was the whole point. Like if I could send it to her and she'd just be like, I'd be like, yes, I did it. Like joke accomplished. But yeah, so that was that in April? Maybe I had started that, or the end of March. Was the very beginning of it. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that you were against doing a TikTok at the beginning, because my last guest also is a TikToker, has 400K followers, and he said that he was very against the idea of doing a TikTok too. At the beginning.
I think like part of it for me, and one of the reasons I chose to go into voiceover is because I wanted to be an actor, but I didn't want like my appearance or my body to have anything to do with it. Like I don't know. I lived in Hollywood, and you get a real weird, there can be this really weird toxic sense, especially for like on-camera actors, of just like, you need to look perfect. And I as someone who has struggled with like, I guess just image issues, weight issues and things like that, I was like, I want to not do that. And also I love video games and cartoons, so this works out. I was like, this is it, this is right. So just putting myself, like, I don't have a Facebook. I had a Facebook all the way until college, and then I was like, I'm done with this. I don't like this, it's too much. And of course I have had an Instagram for a while, but I generally don't like pushing myself. Like, and that's something you have to do nowadays. It's very expected of you to be like, you are your own brand. Like, yeah, CarolineSmash. Yes, all the time, making content, very productive. Like, ooh, and I just, something about it just makes me feel all like gross and icky on the inside. I'm like, don't like selling myself like that, but you have to. So this actually ended up being a pretty like easy, I have to say, of the social media platforms, I think it's worked the best for me. Probably like March through June or July, it was really relatively easy to get a lot of views, for like a nobody to get a lot of views pretty quickly, like out of nowhere. And, and also like, I feel badly because I know people who really put a lot of time into their TikToks. They write out sketches, they film it out of app, they do all this stuff, like, and it's a chef's kiss. It's amazing. But my lazy butt, I'll just be like, pointing at my face and cross my eyes, like, sweet, we did it. So it fits, it works for me. But that's part of why I was against it at first. I was just kind of like, I don't want to be out there in the world, but I'm out there now.
Yeah, and you're right. It is super necessary, even though sometimes it feels kind of weird. Do you have any advice for like people that don't want to put themselves out there, but kind of have to? Like, how do you overcome that?
I would say just like, it's tough. I mean, ultimately, I think what I have struggled with throughout all of this is letting the numbers get to me. Like, again, when I didn't have that many followers, I didn't really care. And it was like fun to make content. But the more people that follow me, it's like, oh, there are more eyes. Oh, I kind of have to like keep going, don't I? Like, I hope I can make everyone laugh. And I would just say, like, you need to make it, and it needs to be fun. Like, I wouldn't force it. Like, even if you're someone who has to be on there, like I would say myself, or just if you want to promote yourself or your content, you do have to be on there. But don't like force it if it won't happen. Again, it's very much like my drawing. It's just like, if I'm not in a good mood, like, sure, I can fake it in my voice, but like, you'll see it on my face. Like, you'll know, like, do it. Yeah. If you can have fun while you're doing it. Yes. And also, like, don't let the numbers get to you. And also, people on the internet who have nothing to do with your field, have no experience in what you do, will tell you everything you're doing wrong. Like, so just be prepared for the awful negative cutting feedback that will haunt you in your dreams. Just be prepared for that, and build a shell of not caring, and try anyway. Why not try? It doesn't matter. And also, like, everything you put doesn't have to be a viral sensation. Like, there will be people who want to follow you or are interested in you just because you're an interesting person. So I'd just say, like, be yourself, have fun doing it, and like, don't think too hard. Like, don't think too much about it, because it'll make you miserable.
Yeah, it's good advice. Did you see the documentary on Netflix that what is it called?
No, I need to, but The Social Dilemma, is that it, right? My parents were like, Caroline, you really need to watch it. And I was like, yes, parental units. And then I got distracted. And then, and especially during like Halloween season, I was like, I'm going to watch as many horror movies as I possibly can. And I just was like binging true crime and like all of these horror movies. So I got very distracted. But yes, I have heard that is a good documentary to watch.
It kind of does talk about like the stuff that you're talking about, like with the numbers and things like that. Yeah. So that's something
like programs you. I mean, because the whole point of an app is just to keep you on there for long as possible. You know, that's the point of any app is just to like, oh yeah, definitely, you know, more screen time, the better. So, you know, it'll give you it. I'm sure you already know, but it's like you get those good chemicals when people like your video and like comment, and then those bad chemicals or just the lack of chemicals when that doesn't happen. You're like, oh, I'm a failure. I've had so many of those moments where I'm like, wow, I'm garbage. I should probably stop. I should stop on ahead. I should just end it. But then I'm like, nah, it's fine. Just gotta like step back every once in a while. It's just like, meh, it's all right.
There is some kind of dopamine rush when you do get X amount of likes that you haven't gotten before. Like,
oh, definitely. When you're like, oh, every time you open it, it's like 99 plus. You're like, oh, you're like, oh, I think they like me. But you know, it doesn't matter. And also, like, so much of that is to do with the algorithm, right? You know, the mysterious algorithm of the mages. Like, what are they doing? What could they possibly be concocting?
Do you think there's some kind of like, there is obviously an algorithm, but do you think like there's some kind of secret formula to like getting your TikToks viral or something like that? The algorithm?
No, I mean, I don't know that there's like a secret. I would say generally being attractive helps. Like all the very like, I mean, there are definitely, you know, TikTokers who are not conventionally good looking who are huge. But like being yourself, having like a nice jawline seems to help. And you know, good lighting, I would say. Like if they can't see you, and then just like being yourself. But I don't know, it's just those random moments that are like, you know, I mean, it's a pretty popular thing in like, you know, of our generation anyway, just to like mash two pop references together and be like, haha, you know, like that kind of thing. That usually is like, ooh, might be something there. Like anytime Carl Weezer says anything, it's like, I like you. I don't give a flip about your boyfriend. Like, that's always like, oh, it's gold. But no, I don't know that there's a singular secret. It seems like there are things that help, but I mean, because sometimes it'll just be like you catch a random candid moment and it's just hilarious, or it's just like whatever it is, really relatable or something, and you're just like, ah, right in my funny bones. I don't know. No, I don't know this. I don't know the secret. I don't know.
That Carl Weezer voice is hilarious. What's the most? What's the voice that your fans ask you to do the most?
Well, it's gone through phases. Because like in talking about like things going viral, things went viral that I did not expect. Like when I made my video that was like, I'm Ida, I didn't expect that. I didn't really expect that to go viral. I was like, I got to clear this up because a bunch of people keep messaging me like, are you really the voice of Ida? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you can Google it. And they was like, you know what? No, this is dumb. I'm going to set the record straight. Like I just made a TikTok and then I was like, oh, that's where I got like my first big, well, that's not true. I did a Timmy Turner impression before that got me a solid chunk too. But you just never know what it'll be. So then like I did a World of Warcraft impression. You know, keep your feet on the ground. I did that and people were like, oh, and I was laughing because so many people were like, I made it to Scottish TikTok, dude. And I'm like, bro, that's an insult to Scottish folk, dude. Like you don't know it, but so for a while, people are like, say things in like a Scottish accent. Like it was like, some say our fate is tied to the land, as much a part of us as we are of it. Others say fate is woven together like a cloth, so that one's destiny intertwines with many others. Like Merida, just like brave. They were wanting that. And then Dora, apparently TikTok loves Dora. They love her. Like, oh, soy Dora. Like everybody loves that. They're like, oh my God. They're like, make Dora say anything else. And that one's always. Actually, I won't say that. I'm just like, people have asked me to say things that are just wild, and I'm like, dude, I can't say that. But yeah, for a while it was Scottish. Ida comes up occasionally. People were like super into my Carmen impression sometimes, you know. They'd be like, oh, sweet. But it just goes in waves. I would say like right now, and I also get there was an audio that was popular on TikTok. I was like, for you, I'd let you hit it for free. For you. And I can do like a pretty okay like impression of that. And people will just come into my lives and say for you. And I'll just instinctually be like, for you. But that's like, I don't even know what that is. And then Carl, once I did the Carl Weezer thing, a lot of people wanted to hear that. Or like the hi, I'm Barbie. People wanted to hear that for a while. It just, like I said, it just goes in waves. I don't know if there's any one particular one. Maybe, I don't know. Carl, people really liked Carl. People really liked it, which I know is not even that great of an impression of Carl Weezer, but the people
that's great. There's something about like Carl Weezer that's hilarious that people love.
Gosh. Well, and it's funny too, going back to listen, because of course the voiceover is Rob Paulson for Carl. He's on TikTok, and it's funny. Like I've gone back and rewatched a few episodes, and like TikTok has sedated Carl Weezer a little bit. He was a lot more hyper in the show. Like he was like, I really had a lot more energy in the show, Jeannie. Like, but TikTok loves him to be like, smite me, or like, was it? Strike me down, dude. Like they really slowed him down and made him like, I don't know, very contrary, which is just kind of fun. That's fun too, is like seeing how different impressions morph, like just in the public, you know, miasma or whatever you want to call it.
Most of the people that watched Jimmy Neutron growing up probably haven't like listened to it in years or watched it in years. So like they don't really like they remember it, but they remember it wrong.
Yes. I also Carl was like my most polarizing impression that I did as well. That's the one I got the most negative feedback from. It was always teenage dudes. They hate my Carl. They're like doesn't even sound like him. They're like terrible. Trash. I'm like,
well, right. let's see them do a better job.
I'm like, oh no, my esteemed colleagues in voiceover. Oh wait. Some kid on the internet doesn't like me.
Their opinion, unless they're like offering you a job, their opinion really doesn't matter, does it?
They're not. And no. No.
Listen, hey, this has went a lot longer than I expected.
Oh, it's fine by me. You know, I'll just keep talking. But it's great. You guys are great. These are some really good meaty questions.
So I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for being on, Caroline.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Do you want to plug any of your social media?
Sure. I'm a CarolineSmash, all one word on the only two things I have, TikTok and Instagarmin. People have asked me to make a YouTube or a YubTub, as I like to say, and I'm like, I need more technology to do that. But eventually, hopefully a Twitch, but just CarolineSmash. If you want to find me, CarolineSmash.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Caroline, for being on.
Of course, my pleasure.
Catch everyone next time.
Bye.